Hey, what's up, you guys? This is DarthZadyBun for ZHM Entertainment here today at something slightly different from my usual collectible set, and that, of course, is this pretty kick-ass figure by Funko Pop. So, well, actually, it's by Funko, and the line is Pop. Now, the Pop's line of collectibles has really taken off over the last couple of years, and it has, well, at least here in South Africa, become one of the most highly sought after, highly in demand types of figures that you get. And I would think that part of its appeal is the fact that it's near universal in nature. I mean, it's fairly cost effective, and it's I think it's just the spread, the sheer spread of the characters that you can get in the line that make it really stand out. So I used to collect pops a hell of a lot in the past, but then I decided to start focusing on some other stuff, like Hot Toys and DC collectible statues, for example. So I sort of, took a step back from pops as a whole. But I got this one over here from my friends at Cosmic Comics, and this is a special edition one that they gifted me, and just want to send a shout out to them. Thanks, you guys. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna pop it open, have a look at it, and we'll just chat a little bit about pops as a whole and this pop in particular. So as is always the case with any reviews of mine, we will consider both the aesthetics and the age factor. So let's get into it now. I think a lot of the value in pops themselves lie in the fact that they should stay boxed. But this is a gift, so I don't intend on selling it ever. And it's a pretty kick-ass version of Spider-Man, or sort of like an alternative version of Spider-Man. The six hands. I don't know if you remember in the comics or even in the '90s series, but during the neogenic nightmare sequence when he tries to rid himself of his powers, then he accidentally gives himself a couple extra hands. So this is a bobblehead type of pop, as you can see. Yeah. Okay, let's not overdo it, right? So it has the spring over here just holding up the head. I think that's going to be a slight problem for you. I'm going to chat about that in just a moment. And it has the six arms. So let's talk about the aesthetic. So aesthetically, as you can see, fairly standard fare for a pop. It just has a really kick-ass look to it overall. So I tend to favor the bobble-headed ones. I like these ones over here because it adds a little bit of variety to this line of figures. As you know, a lot of pops are pretty static, as it were, and not a whole lot is going on over here. But these bobbleheads make a nice display for, like for your desk. I just want to add on something to my space over here so you can see the figure. Oops. Okay, and that's the lights gone. Yes, these are the challenges when you're trying to do a live video. So, yeah, I'm going to pop on some statutes here. Don't judge me. I'm an attorney by trade. So we can see that slightly better there. Can you? Yes, you can. Let's try and put that there. And let's try and get the lights back on while I tell you more about it. Okay, so as you can see, I think the biggest challenge with pops historically with the fact that they're not particularly detailed, but this one over here is a little bit of a shift from that as a whole. As you can see, it has a fair amount of sculpted detail all throughout it. You can see the web pattern over there. I know in some of the, or rather on some of the other Spider-Man pops that I have, you don't really see that. You have more of a paint detail going on this, so that's pretty cool. What I'm really impressed by though is the six hands look. It's so different. It's really so different of this. So yeah, it looks very a lot like the character. Well, it looks exactly like the character. There we go. The lights are back. Let's just give me a second to pop that back on there, and let's hope I don't drop it again. Yeah. So as I was saying, as you can see, it looks just like how the character would look over there, and has back over here you can see classic Spider-Man look, very, very classic. Got the spider emblem over there at the back. Come over here to the front, you can see it's got that really classic look going on over there. I really like it. I'm very, very happy with it. It looks so cool, really, really cute. It's got some detailing over there at the bottom, so it's basically the name of the company, that's Funko Limited. And on this side over here, it's got some sort of a code over there. I think that's, well, I'm actually not sure what that code is. Now, the one thing I really like about pops as a whole is that they just a wide spread of characters. So I'm quite happy with this. It looks great. Age factor wise, well, as you know, when we talk about age factor, we refer to the degree to which one goes ish with excitement or ish with disappointment. So again, when it comes to pops, not a whole lot you can expect in terms of that. It's either you like it or you don't like it. But I just think that they are a really, really cool line to get into. It's just that once you get the pop bug, you start getting obsessed with pops, as I was a little while back. You really, really start going haywire. Now, this one over here, I'm not sure if it's a challenge that happens with everything in the line, or all the figures in the line. But I don't know if you can see it over there, but the bottom part of the spring, it's sort of popping up a little bit of this. So I think it might have gotten a bit pulled as I took it out of the packaging. But overall, not too bad over there. But when you actually display it, you can't really see that. Okay, so it's not standing all that well, but that's because my bundle of legislation over here is a little bit warped, so getting it to stand is a bit difficult. But once you do, it looks great. Just hit the desk a little bit. There we go. You can see, yes, bobble, 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 baby, bobble. Yeah. So pretty awesome, pretty kick-ass. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very grateful to have this one over here. This one here, it's a unique pop to get. Apparently, like it says on the box, it's a special edition. Now, I know that there's a lot of talk about chase pops and all that stuff. People are going crazy about that. And at some point or the other, I intend to do a video about the different types of pops you get and what you should look for and that kind of thing. But I do want to draw a comparison between this one and one of the older ones that I have. Now, one criticism of the Pops line as a whole, is the fact that, it's pretty much the same thing with all the characters. Now, this is my Astrid Pop from How to Train Your Dragon. Very, very excited about the movie coming out next year, but we'll come back to that in a bit. As you can see, they look very, very different, very, very different. But what I like now is that, like in the old days, what would happen with Pops was they'd sort of just, have like a basic, like a basic look, and then they'd accessorize it a little bit so you can see, the different characters. But now I see they've started doing some really interesting things with Pops as a whole. Like, for example, with this one here, with the Spider-Man, as you can see, he's got multiple arms and, overall really nice. And I have no doubt that if they really wanted to, they could probably add some articulation or something like that. But I guess to keep to the classic look of the line itself, just basically to keep that overall aesthetic of the of the pieces themselves. That's why they don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I just wanted to draw a comparison between what they were doing before and what they're doing now. I don't know. I just really like Paul. I just really like the line as a whole. I just really wish that I wasn't such a completist, because I think my biggest challenge is that once I start collecting something, then I just want to keep on like going crazy at it, and before long things get really, really, really out of control. As long as we're talking about this, I've never actually showcased this anywhere, but some years back, when I was quite into pops, I got this Astrid pop like on clearance somewhere, I forget now, and I got another one as well, and I actually customized that one to make a spawn pop. So I'm still waiting on them to release an actual official spawn pop, but this is my custom spawn pop. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not too shabby. So I converted an Astrid to a spawn. So not my best work ever, but still pretty kick-ass overall, if I may say so myself. But yeah, okay, let's just put that aside for a second. I do want to show you my other pop. Okay, so this was my other bobblehead pop. Yes, the big T himself, Thanos. As you can see, this one here is another one of those bobble-headed ones, and this is what I'm talking about when I my issue with the spring over here. So you can see the spring over here; it's quite low, for lack of a better term. Well, this one over here, as you can see, it's mounted slightly higher up, so you can't really see it. But yeah, so this is one of the 6-inch pops, one of the bigger ones. This is a standard one. As you can see, you pop them next to each other, you can see the size difference. So yeah. So let's pop that aside. Let's come back to this one over here. So yeah, overall, very, very happy with it. Pretty kick-ass. You can get this at Cosmic Comics. I believe that they are the only retailer in South Africa to have this particular one. So you can chat to them about this and some of the other ones they have available as well. But in the meanwhile, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, do all of that stuff. And I'll chat to you guys soon. Bye.